Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday. Of course, it's time to discuss the Monday market report for the week ending August 18th of 2019. Hope everyone had a great weekend and a great last few days before that as we pretty much wrap up the summer with one of the biggest auctions, one of the most highly anticipated coin auctions to ever show up throughout a 12-month period, and that is the Heritage Auctions ANA World's Fair of Money auction show. This is by far and away one of the biggest events throughout the year, and Heritage Auctions this year for 2009, they pulled off all the stops and ensuring that a lot of the highest quality pieces come out to the market. So typically on the Monday market report, all right, we discuss all of the post 1950 modern coins to really make waves in the past week. This week it's no exception. We have 11 coins total that we're going to talk about. We're going to cover all of the Lincoln Cent sales. Some of the most notable coins to sell this week at the ANA World's Fair of Money show, hosted by Heritage Auctions. Of course, all this information is on their website if you wanted to also take a look at the coins and the listings themselves. There are other coins that were sold, but we're going to focus on the more notable Lincoln Cents on here. Now, we are going to talk about a few of the earlier Lincoln Cents from like the 1940s, so you will see those here, but they are worth mentioning. For the mere fact that these coins that sold for many hundreds of thousands of dollars were at one point found in circulating coinage. All right, these were not found in no mid-state bag. They weren't brand new upon discovery. These have definitely logged many miles in the course of just overall spending. So I want to thank you for joining. Of course, first time here, welcome. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell for instant notification. So that way you can get access to all of the newest Blue Ridge Silverhound videos as they're made available. So like I had mentioned, 11 coins that we're covering. In total, $620,000 in coins between these 11. So the first one that I want to talk about is this 1943 Lincoln Cent. Of course, we all know in 1943, it was a one-year shot in which the government converted from a bronze planchet to a zinc-coated steel planchet coin. So it's supposed to be a steel coin. In this case, it isn't. This is one of the errant, coins that everybody hopes and dreams to find, and sure enough, they do exist out there. There have been a number of them that have been found, and they are all extremely valuable. This example right here undoubtedly has been found in change at one point. How do I know? Well, it's the grade PCGS AU58. It is about uncirculated, and just by the overall appearance of the coin, this one was definitely changing hands during its time. It's anybody's guess when this particular example was discovered. It might have been within the last year or two. It might have been 50 years ago. But at one point, this coin was discovered through the annals of just mere circulation of coins. So this one right here, okay, it's no big surprise that this is going to be the biggest dollar amount coin on the list. This one sold for $252,000, which is proof positive that these coins are still worth a ton of money. They're not worth the $500,000, $600,000 that they once were, but it's good to know that these coins haven't completely fallen off the tracks, so to speak, in terms of their just their popularity and their value in the marketplace as one of the chase pieces, I guess, of error coins. All right, so this is the first one I want to bring up, and then the most notable. But the second one that we have here today is a 1943S. Of course, this one was supposed to be a zinc-coated steel coin as well. I was going to say, fortunately, this one was struck on one of those bronze planchets. Maybe a leftover at that time. But at that time, they didn't care. They found a few on the floor. They throw them in a batch of the zinc-coated steel planchets, and there you go. You have a coin that is highly desirable. This one right here is another one of those what I perceive to be a circulation find. Okay, it's seen a lot of miles. The reverse of the coin is a little bit chewed up. It looks like it exhibited a little bit of road rash. But because of the rarity, this one right here, NGC graded it a clean AU53. No details, no scratches. I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not this should have been a details coin. Somehow a piece of me thinks that, well, it does exhibit some sort of damage on the reverse. Maybe it should have had that on the slab label. So this one here sold for $216,000, ladies and gentlemen. So already we've encompassed over $460,000 out of 2 Lincoln cents that were found in change. Pretty incredible. All right, so if you think that one's pretty neat, the next one that we have here, as the U.S. Mint converted back to the copper bronze planchets in 1944, of course, the reverse would hold true. There were a few leftover zinc-coated steel planchets that somehow made it into a batch of the bronze type. And in 1944, there were a few coins that were struck in the older zinc-coated steel. In this case, we have an AU55 by NGC example here. This one sold for $26,400. Still pretty pricey. They're not as expensive as the marquee 1943 dated coins, but somewhere along the line, it is a coin that is very sought after among the enthusiasts, especially of errors and Lincoln cents. So this is a pretty phenomenal coin here. So the next one I wanted to talk about, kind of coming back down to earth a little bit. This is a 1954 Lincoln cent. Okay, it's a wheatback variety. This one is an NGC Mint State 67. Okay, we're seeing NGC coins, commanding the kind of market value that maybe 5 years ago didn't, because PCGS was kind of king of the hill. Now NGC is one of those grading companies that a lot of people go to as a secondary option when you just can't afford the PCGS services. There is a pretty good price difference between the two companies if you opted that you wanted to send coins for grading and authentication. So this example right here sold for $1,560. Okay, again, this is what I would consider to be a registry example. So people who typically participate in this registry program will go out and seek out some of the finest coins of each particular date. They'll get them all together in a registry, and it's a points-based system. So the highest points kind of gives you a little bit of credence as far as in the collecting community. It's one of those things that I like, and people are paying up for, some pretty common dated coins, as long as they hit that grade level that isn't typically seen. Okay, and this 1954 is another great example. So the next one that we have here is another 1954. However, this particular example is a Denver minted variety, in which Denver traditionally mints some of the highest quality coins. Okay, their quality control processes are usually second to none. Okay, so to find a Denver minted coin that graded NGC Mint State 67 plus, the plus indicates a little bit of extraordinary eye appeal of this coin, is pretty nice. However, there have been a number of these have come out into the marketplace in the last 12 to 18 months, and we're seeing a reflection in the price kind of correction of this particular coin at this grade level. This one only sold for $552, where maybe 18 to 24 months ago, this was a $2,000 coin. Now we're seeing just kind of like this influx of newly graded examples hitting the marketplace, maybe in conjunction with the fact that this is an NGC graded coin and not PCGS. Kind of, you put both things together, and that's why it's sold for this kind of money. Not the typical high-end type of money that you would expect, but all in all, still a nice little decent amount of money. And this might be rock bottom for this coin. Only time will tell. All right, so the next one that we have here, we have a trio of 1969 Lincoln cents with the sought-after double die obverse variety. Okay, this is the one that, as coin roll hunters like myself and a lot of folks out there who go through bankrolls on a weekly basis, we strive to look for coins like this. So this is each one of these three coins are cataloged as an FS 101. All right, so it's a cherry picker's guide variety. It's in the red book. This is a coin right here that everybody knows about who have been in coins for a while. The first example that you see here is probably the cleanest, most executable coin out of the three. It's a PCGS Mint State 63. This one is a fully oxidated brown example, so there's no more of that mint red that you would typically see on newer coins. This one is also CAC certified, and this particular example sold for $40,800. Again, each of one of these three coins right here has been found in change, just based on the overall appearance of the coins, just the oxidation of the colors. The next example that we see here has a little bit of the fingerprinting on there. This coin was actually discovered here in California. I'm happy to say that. I actually had a conversation with the finder, the discoverer of this example right here, and I told him, go ahead and shoot it on to Heritage Auctions, for the next big show. And it turns out it's the ANA World's Fair of Money, and you couldn't pick a better venue to sell this caliber of coin. All right, and I gave him a nice kind of like range estimate, and it fell in line. Okay, which is great news. This is a nice looking coin, problem free. It's a PCGS Mint State 62 red brown. It's the coin out of the three that's not CAC certified. That might have played a little bit of a role in the fact that this one sold for $26,400, but still, that's $26,000. That maybe, a short while before the discovery, wasn't made apparent. So congratulations again to the finder of this coin in the Central Valley of California. Pretty nice example there. And the third example of this coin is going to be this Mint State 63 red. This one is CAC certified, and it is also by PCGS. This double die type right here sold for $38,400. This is probably my least favorite out of the three, in spite of the fact that it is a full red coin. The big gnarly carbon spot on the reverse, it will only get worse in time. Okay, these things have kind of a habit of spreading, if not kind of like hermetically sealed, correctly in the slab. Okay, the slab typically will keep things pretty isolated in there as far as the coin and other reactive conditions. But the thing that worries me about carbon spots is these things just have a habit of like growing new legs. It's like rust on a car. All right, as much as you think is you get rid of all the rust, they always seem to pop up somewhere else. So anyways, that's the third 69S double die. Three absolutely marvelous examples. So what we have next here is going to be another double die obverse. Now, if it wasn't for the 1969S double die obverse Lincoln Cent, this 1970S double die obverse FS 101 example that you see here would undoubtedly be the king of the hill of double die cents for the modern era. This example right here, graded NGC Mint State 65 red brown, truly nice example. I like this one. And this one sold for what I would consider to be a very conservative, very light $2,640. In comparison to the 69Ss that we saw beforehand, okay, this is a really attractive double die coin, okay? Very sought after, very valuable. And this one has come down in value over the years, okay? This used to be a $10,000 coin all day long. I think it's just a matter of the extra, attention, the publicity surrounding the various types of varieties that exist in Lincoln Cents, which are, it's one of the most widely accessible coins at a low investment cost. So, this coin right here, I feel like might be hitting rock bottom before it begins to shoot back up. All right, so that's a pretty nice coin here. So we have two more coins, okay? This one right here, I found one of these a long time ago in the past. Haven't successfully found another one yet. But it's a 1992D. Of course, this one has the close AM reverse on there. So it was a reverse that was intended for proof coinage. All right, so the ANM in America is touching at the base. Okay, and that's how you'll know that this is a close AM. Another thing you want to keep in mind, the FG initials sit a little bit further away from the base of the monument, and that's going to be another thing you'll keep an eye out for this particular example. This one is cataloged as FS901, and it is also PCGS graded mid-state 66 red. Now, this coin right here is mighty attractive. It's very clean, and because of that, it brought home $12,000 at the ANA World's Fair Money Auction on Heritage Auctions. Pretty nice example. So the last coin I want to talk about is the newest one on the list. I went in ascending order on here, and we're going to close it out with one of the tougher double dies that you could try and find. Okay, and it's the 1995 D. That's right, it's a Denver minted coin. This is a doubled die obverse. It is also classified as FS103 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. This one right here, graded PCGS Mid-State 67 full red, and this one sold for $4,200. This is a coin right here that doesn't show the doubling as strong as the regular Philadelphia 1995, let alone some of the other strong double dies on the list. But this one right here, you're going to pay extra close attention to In God We Trust. To a lesser extent, the date and mint mark. Keep in mind that both the date and mint mark will have the doubling because after 1989, the U.S. Mint added the mint mark as part of the master die. Okay, this was not punched separately as opposed to pre-1989 Lincoln cents. All right, so this is a really nice coin here, and one in which that hasn't fallen off too much in terms of value. They are all extremely valuable. If you're able to find one in any grade, you rest assured that it's going to be a coin that will sell regardless. So anyways, this kind of wraps up part one of the Monday Market Report. The second report will cover the nickels through the modern dollars in terms of the sales from the Heritage Auctions ANA World's Fair of Money event. So I want to thank you guys for joining in for part one. Stay tuned for part two of this pretty big event right here. A lot of great coins still to come. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys take care. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you on the next one.